You love debate? I love debate, so let's debate. A few days ago, I posted a video and I've received so many comments, a lot of discussion about a subject that was very interesting, which was, are Alcaraz and Sinner winning Grand Slams because they're so good and so much better than any other player in the top 10 at the moment? Or are they winning also because the top 10 today is not as good as the top 10 that was playing when the big three was playing? First of all, some of you have compared Wawrinka, Del Potro and Andy Murray to the current top 10. But if you look at the current top 10, most of the guys are very young. Holger Rune is 22, Musetti is 23, Draper's 24, Ben Shelton's 23. Probably those guys are going to develop a lot in the future, and maybe they're going to end up being multiple Grand Slam winners. So to compare those guys at 22, 23, 24 to players like Del Potro, Wawrinka and Murray who have played their whole career, it's not very fair. If when Wawrinka, Del Potro and Murray were 22 or 23 years old, you would have told them that they were not as good as the previous generation of the Safin, Hewitt, Kafelnikov, Ferrero, Moya, Rafter, they would not have liked it at all. Maybe after 10 years, this statement would not be true anymore. Second element, some of you have also said that they would have loved to see Alcaraz or Sinner win a Grand Slam having to beat Wawrinka, Del Potro, Murray and two members of the big three. Just for your information, this never happened in the history. Not Djokovic, not Nadal, not Federer and not any other player have won a Grand Slam beating all those guys. Never happened. And by the way, I have interesting statistics on that. In 15 years, only 4 players has won a Grand Slam beating 2 players out of the big 3. Only 4 different players. Even Roger Federer never won a Grand Slam beating Nadal and Djokovic. This never happened. One time it was Novak Djokovic, one time it was Rafael Nadal. And when those two guys did it, yes, they beat 2 members of the big 3, but throughout the whole tournament, they didn't beat any top 10. So that was not that difficult at that time. And if so many times those players, those big 3, won Grand Slams without having to face the top 10s, it's probably because those guys lost before playing them. So to say that those guys were so good, so much better than the current ones, doesn't really make sense. And last thing, throughout the history, tennis has always progressed and the current generation is always better than the generation before. That would be very strange to have a top 10 today that is not as good as the top 10 years ago. Doesn't really make sense. So that's probably not true. But I like seeing so many comments, so much passion. Just shows how much people are crazy in love with tennis. And it shows also the attachment to some players. And I think a lot of these comments were due to the fact that this attachment is so strong that it was more the heart that was talking. Now we have a lot of tools, we have analytics, we have a lot of data, and I want to come back with new hard facts that are only based on the level of the players compared to the level of the players before. And I'll continue the discussion with you with a lot of pleasure.